Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Demonetized podcast, episode 3, the long-awaited threequel. My name is Indigo. I'm a dude on a show. There are two other dudes here, one of them being the one and only British creative genius, Day by Dave.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, Dave.
Yeah,
how you doing?
It's been good. Episode 3, it feels good. This is going well.
It's insane. This is the return of the king, you know.
Yeah, but before we carry on, we also have to mention the illustrious Maya Fennec. Woo!
Yay!
How's it going, Maya?
Miss Illustrious herself. How you doing, Maya?
Yes, I'm getting more and more comfortable or okay with this illustrious thing.
I thought you were going to say, I'm getting more and more illustrious by the day.
Well, I guess
you know it.
You know it, yeah.
More illustrious than ever.
At least we're being humble.
I think the top comment on the previous episode of the podcast was the definition of illustrious, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, is that so?
I
Okay, hold on. Let me.
It was like. Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, let me go look it up right now.
Yeah, have a look, because I just always keep reading it, but I forget because my memory is absolutely terrible.
Okay, let me check. Here we go. The definition of illustrious, according to the top comment by user Zain Amalfitano, says illustrious, well-known, respected, and admired for past achievements.
Ooh,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah,
That's
Maya,
alright with me.
What would
Take
you
it,
say
take it.
are your past achievements you should be admired for, Maya? If you have to pick
Oh, dear.
one in particular.
Oh God. I don't know, man.
well,
If I was like, this was the most... It's hard to pick something serious, because even though illustrious might be a serious, respected thing, we have never used the word in that way.
yeah.
It's always been, you know. So.
But since we're
so
talking,
Yeah,
No, go,
I just
go,
want to
go.
real
Maybe
quick
someone-
before we get into the show itself, to everybody watching this on YouTube or to anybody listening to this on SoundCloud, we are now officially on iTunes as well. And if you're on Android,
Hey!
we are on every
Yeah.
Android podcast app. So just search Demonetized or Demonetized Podcast and you'll find us. And please subscribe to the podcast over there and rate us on iTunes because we
cool
want to be
isn't that?
number 1 on there. We probably won't, but we want to be.
that's,
At least I want to
that's
be.
so
man.
cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
that we're on all the platforms.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well done, Indigo.
It's like an official podcast, man. That's
Well done,
crazy.
Indigo. Thanks.
Yeah, well done. Indigo.
Didn't you do the...
Yeah.
Didn't you pull some strings to get us there?
I mean, I did the iTunes part, but like Dave edited the episode, so I guess he did more hours of work
Yeah.
than I did, technically.
Well, we've
That's
we've
true.
all done something.
Yeah. Yes.
We're a
yes.
good team.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So,
So-
how's your
That's
week
good.
been since last time?
Yeah, mine's been pretty good. I've just been working on a big video. I'm still trying to write a musical that's taken ages.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
It's
I've
going to be
been
so
seeing some
stupid,
updates from
though.
that.
It's going to be so stupid when I release it, and everyone's going to be like, "Why did this take you so long?" But I'm just like, there's so many things in it that take ages that like look like nothing. But you'll see when it comes out. What about you guys? What
Oh,
have you been
God.
up to this week?
I can't wait. Like, I just have to add that if you need some, extra characters in your musical, maybe via green screen from Sweden, you know
Ooh,
who to
well,
call.
I actually might need some voice over help from you guys,
Oh,
but
yeah?
I'll talk to you about that later. So, but
Well,
yeah,
Talk
so
off the air. Do you
Yeah.
have any like tentative release date ish in mind for the thing?
well, no. What? So the reason. So did I say this last time? The reason I started doing it is because I've always wanted to do something like this, but it like takes a while to make. So
Yeah.
I was like, and I'm quite a rush. Like if something comes up, I always want to get it out really fast.
Yeah.
So what I've done is like I'm doing this as like a bigger project, so that if I don't have a video, I'm always working on something. So I'm working on that. So I haven't actually.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to be released yet, but I'm in the middle of doing the second song of this series. There's going to be 3 songs, so I'm getting there.
All right.
But
All
I
right.
should know
Cool.
this week, like kind of when by the next podcast I should know. So I'll keep you.
All right. We'll check back
Is
in
it-
for
is
more
it
updates
based
next
on,
week, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it based on reality?
It's based around YouTube and YouTubers, kind of.
Yeah?
Because like that's what I can write about that, and there's loads
Does
to talk about.
does Dan TDM appear
Well,
in the musical?
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, well, I can't. I won't tell you the characters until next week.
Exciting.
I'll give you
Okay.
as a spoiler.
I'm stoked.
What about you guys? What have you been up to?
Cool.
What have you been doing?
Well, today we've been shooting some videos. That's why we're both in fancy makeup, which you can't see right now, Dave. But
I'm sure you look lovely.
got some bling.
You have to take
bling
my
and
word
stuff.
for it.
Yeah.
We've actually been shooting Roblox videos for Maya's channel, so that's a first.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's a first. I've almost never played Roblox, maybe once or twice, but really short. So
Yeah. I think
It's
you
pretty
played
fun,
it.
It's
like
interesting.
for being a free kids game. Like it's actually surprisingly
Yeah, it is.
well made.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's super
It's just
popular, isn't it?
very ugly.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
there
I
are
like the creative
levels,
part of it. Like anybody
Yeah.
can create anything.
but like there
Yeah,
are
that's cool.
levels on there that have like way more concurrent players than most games on Steam. Like some levels we played today had more players active than some of the Call of Duty games do. So it's really weird. It's really
That's
really
crazy.
big, and nobody
Yeah,
really
it's
talks about
weird.
it outside
Yeah.
of YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I see it here, see it mentioned everywhere. But like when you look at it at face value, it doesn't really look, like a lot's going on. But there's quite a lot.
No.
There's quite a
Yeah,
lot to it.
yeah.
Yeah, so many players. That's weird.
And I think can't if you make like levels that get enough plays, can't you get paid to do it or something?
I mean,
I
maybe
I
you can
think
put
so.
ads
or
in there.
They do have
You
the.
can put ads on
They
it.
have the currency like Roblox.
Yeah.
That is real
Robux.
money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Robux,
you.
right? Sorry.
Yeah, so I think you can actually, if you spend too much time making levels or whatever, you can like make money of it. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
really?
It's the same with Minecraft. Like there are people who like run Minecraft servers as a full-time job,
Oh,
basically.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. It's quite cool. What else have you been up to?
Yeah.
Well, on mine, I've just been doing so many videos. As always, I'm still trying to keep the daily kind of schedule, but I've been considering maybe switching off from that and trying to do maybe a little bit fewer videos every week and having them, you know, a bit more high quality. I saw Dan TDM tweet about that. Like, I'm done with daily videos. So, I don't know. But I had this...
I think that would be good.
Yeah. Also, I've been kind of thinking about ways to, I guess, maximize my remixes or like the productions of it, because I spend so many hours on doing a single one typically, and then I kind of release it, and then I'm on to the next one. But I've been thinking like of ways to like make it more of a full production, and I had this idea of doing, because typically I release the video and then I release the instrumental and then the 1 hour version. But what I tried doing now was like maybe I can replace some of the instruments with 8-bit versions and release an like 8-bit version. So I did that
really
of
cool.
my ASDF, and that one performed incredibly well actually, to my surprise. So I'm gonna try doing that now. Like, do a little DLC for every remix I release.
Is it like this?
Yeah, because that's not too much work, isn't it? It's just like you change the.
I mean,
instruments.
it's a bit of work, but
instruments.
more than that, it's really fun because it's a totally different take.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm doing a cover of my own music in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a real.
How does that feel?
Very creatively free. You know, it feels great. It's fun. It's way more creatively satisfying than I thought it would be. So might try to do a few more of those.
That's a cool idea. Yeah, I think
nice.
because one of the things with what we do, like remixing stuff, is a lot of people don't realize that the production of the music and everything is like a massive. It's like one of the biggest parts of it. I think people just listen and think like, because there's some channels and some stuff on YouTube which people will take royalty-free music and they'll just edit a video to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
for sure.
unless in the video like it shows us playing or us mixing or whatever, then people just I don't think there's no emphasis on the fact that you produced the track. So I think that's a good idea. It's quite cool. Like making the most.
So I
out of
get
it.
comments on basically every single remix I do. I assume you do as well, saying like, "Where's the music from?" or like, "What's the original?" And I'm like, "Well, this is the original."
Yeah.
No, the backtrack. Where's it from?
Hard for people to get.
Yeah. I think the problem is that so many channels do just that, like download a royalty-free backtrack. Because I've seen other people do quote-unquote Dan TDM remixes, for example, and they just use like YouTube stock music and edit a melody to that, and it's like
Yeah.
So it's a fun thing. I mean, the music is the important part to me rather than the video editing anyway. So
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's a good idea.
Totally.
What about you, Maya? What you
for sure.
Well, I've been pretty active this week actually. I've released like 5 videos or something.
What?
So that's cool. it must have to be some kind of record for me.
Do you feel
we've
like
been-
really
we've been
productive?
doing a lot of. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I always feel good.
Sorry, it's lagging a little bit.
I always feel
Oh,
good
Yeah.
when I'm releasing more videos.
Yeah,
you know
me
what I mean?
too.
If it feels natural, kind of thing.
Yeah. It feels really good. Like I've been stuck, you know, when you kind of like writer's block, but with
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after I released
Vlogger's
Sing,
block.
I had like a few videos. Yeah, vlogger's block.
Yeah, vloggers.
But I got into this like because I had so many old videos. Like I released a video this week from E3 that we filmed like this 2 months ago or something.
Yeah.
And I had just this list, you know, that's piling up with old videos that I needed to edit, and I just thought like, nah, just be done with it. I just want to get them out of there, so I can start working on new stuff. So I just sat down and like, no, this week I'm gonna get rid of all these like old videos and get some new, so I can like start working on some new stuff and just do it and not make it too big of a thing out of it.
Yeah.
Because I often like in my head, I guess. You know, when I'm thinking about a video I'm making, I'm like, yeah, and I have this project. It's like, oh, then I need to do this and that, and I have the music and blah 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 blah, and it becomes like a huge thing in my head, and I just like, no, I don't want to, you know,
Kind of procrastinate
almost
and
even
put it
touch
off.
the project. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I'm a master procrastinator. Yeah.
I know what you
So,
mean. But that's awesome though. I think it always
That's-
feels good when you have a good productive week. It's like you just feel like you've achieved something, you know?
yeah, it feels so good. It's more of it. Indigo taught me a lot about that actually, about just doing stuff and not, you know,
Yeah.
thinking too much about it.
Yeah, and I think because with YouTube, sometimes, you know, just something that you have the idea and just make just off the cuff is one of the most successful things because it's something natural and just like
Yeah.
It's almost always.
it's just like this kind of raw content that a lot of people want to see is just like an expression rather than
Yeah.
an overcomplicated produced thing. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
yeah, that's what I like about YouTube
totally
is
agree.
there's a massive market for that. Whereas like there's no really real other
Definitely.
places where you can get away with just doing that or just doing whatever. But that's one of the best
Yeah.
things about it. I think that's really cool though.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And I also thought about the thing we talked about last week about someone. I think someone sent in a question and asking about like if it feels frustrating when your channel is not growing as it's like as fast as you want it to or something like that.
Yeah.
But I would like to like turn that question towards views on videos. And like, because you can, that's such a gamble which videos that get picked up or not.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
So you could spend hours and hours and hours on one video and it just doesn't perform well. And then you do something, like you said, Dave, like more like an expression, you just spit it out there and it goes really well. And I think that can be so hard sometimes when you really work on something you want to go well.
Yeah.
But it can also, like, you know, it's both good and bad in the sense that, you know, you can get a hit, but also it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
But it's good to just keep productive. Don't think about it. Just get it out there to not get too bummed out if a video doesn't work out.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
That's actually so. To everyone listening, we want to talk about a Markiplier video that he's released. What was the video called, guys? Was it called Just Being Honest? Or
what? Yeah. Wait, let me check real quick. It was called.
Let me be really honest or something.
Let me be completely honest. What's the title?
Completely.
Because one of the things you said there, Maya, was like one of the things he hit on. Like I've got it written down here. He kind of talks about being obsessed with the numbers and how that kills creativity.
Yeah.
Like on YouTube, like people,
Yeah.
it takes away like the whole expression, the whole creativity part of it. Like just getting
Yeah.
obsessed. And like, you know, like
Yeah,
I think
totally.
we've all probably been there because it's like a slippery slope. And as soon as you start doing it, sometimes you can just play the system a little bit, but then you kind of lose the soul behind the content, and you have to enjoy it and make stuff that just you know there's an expression of you.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about that video
Totally
that Mark
agree.
made?
Yeah, Indigo, you want to start?
I mean, I watched the video first time. I watched it this morning as I was taking my morning shower, watching YouTube in the shower, as you do,
Nice.
right? And
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
I was, no one. And I was watching it, and like Mark to me has always been probably the most inspiring out of the big dudes on YouTube. In the sense that he's always been so down to earth and so humble in a way, despite his growth. You know, all his million subs milestone videos, always sitting there, and the meme about like Mark always cries in his videos. But like, there's been something so genuine to him that I've always really, really respected. Even before I was doing YouTube myself, watching him. And this really felt like a throwback to that in a way. He talked about like my channel's grown so much, like, and we've accomplished so much. We've reached such numbers that of subscribers, like the numbers don't even mean anything anymore. But on the way we've somehow, or like I've somehow almost lost touch, and this is like a step towards getting back to that in a way. And I don't know, it just kind of made me think about myself, like what goals do I have once, like if my channel were ever to hit 1 million or 10 million, probably won't happen, but you know, given that situation, what would the next step be for me right now? And I have all these dreams of like music ideas I want to do in the future, and travel the world, and collaborations I want to do. But like, typically when I was younger, I've always been kind of a dreamer and had these crazy dreams of like, one day I want to do this. But I've realized now I'm at a point where so many of those dreams I've realized were not very tangible. They were kind of abstract, and in many ways I've realized many of them just thanks to YouTube. Like, I want to do a music video filmed in Japan, or you know, stuff like that I have now done. And this got me kind of thinking, well, what are my dreams now? And I don't know, I'm not really sure. This is the dream, and I'm not really sure what I have beyond that, I guess, kind of in a way.
Yeah, that's deep. But I totally.
I know there's something there, but it's so abstract, and I'm just trying to put words into it and make it tangible in my head. But I don't know. I just have this. I have a feeling of what my dreams are, but I can't spell it out. You know.
But that's kind of like, he kind of hits on that point. He's like, says that when he started YouTube, like he was always working towards something, but he never really knew what it was. And like now he feels like he knows, you know, because he always thought YouTube, like being successful on YouTube was like, that's the goal, like however it looks. But now he's like, the ceiling's like risen, you know, there's other stuff he wants to do, and he's got like bigger dreams. And I think we're probably in that phase where it's like there's a lot of room for us to grow and improve, like all three of us, you know. But we've not been doing it that long, and it's quite hard to figure out like, what's the ultimate like thing that I want to do? You know, what am I working towards? I think we're just working towards. I know what I mean. It's like really hard to put into words, other than just to get better and I don't know. What do you think, Maya?
Well, I think I hear what he's saying, but somehow I can't. I think I can't relate that much actually. Because I think in a way that I have. My goals are so much more personal, I guess. Or like I like all my highest dreams. Like I have this one thing that's been my goal since I was 15. That's Wembley. One day I'm gonna stand at Wembley and sing.
That's cool.
It's like I want to get there one day. But other than that, it's like if I'm thinking like personally. It would be, I want to release an album with a certain type of music that I feel proud over being able of producing, and also to get recognition from a certain type of people, I guess. And somehow I can feel how, I know that my channel, out of our channels, mine is the smallest one, I have the smallest numbers. And I know both of you have been into... I think you like both watching and producing much more and for a longer time than I have. And I'm just starting to get into these like numbers when it's actually fun to check your social blade because stuff is happening. Like before it's only been like, for me, I have noticed like a few here and there, but it doesn't really matter. But now I'm also like starting to get up a little bit longer, and I can feel how the numbers are really... In some ways, they're getting to me, but I try to keep it separate from the goals and not just make videos to get, like, me and Indigo were talking today, like, what videos should we make today? And I was like, I want to get some new people into the channel, try to do something clickbaity, something But then I realized that, but why would I want to do that? What kind of people do I want on my channel? If I make a video about a certain hot topic just to, get people who like that topic into the channel, like, is that the topic I have? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a good point, because do you guys know Emma
hard.
Blackery?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, so like she did a
Absolutely.
like a comedy song on the ukulele about Google Plus when it made all those changes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and I think
Uh-huh.
that was one of the things that blew up her channel. But
Yeah.
she, her like main thing like that she's probably passionate about is like music. But then she became this comedy channel, and like if you watch her from then to now, she's always been on this like this battle with herself and her audience. Like, do I do comedy or do I do music? And I think that's the problem. Like if you blow up from something that you're not really you don't want to do, then it might be a bit difficult to change. I think you can change though. It's just you have to be willing to take the the change with it. But it is really interesting.
Sure.
I think so, but you get but we were talking about that also. Like, but she has so many dislikes, and like if you check her social blade, it's just dropping. It's red.
Yeah.
She loses so many subscribers, and
I think that's why though, because
and
like
I feel like it. Yeah. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're right. Yeah, I think it's because her identity, the channel identity, is always changing, and that's when the audience is like, like I'm subscribed for this. It's a really tricky thing to balance, I think.
I think so, and also like the balance between what you what were I saying? Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
The balance between what you want to do and no.
No, wait.
I can
it's
just
coming back to me.
Okay.
Jump in. Someone.
Okay, so I can jump in with a thought, and like I've been enjoying Emma Blackery's comedy content for years now, and I used to listen to. She released an EP a couple of years ago called Magnetized. That was kind of a pop rock kind of thing, and some music videos. I thought that EP was great. I love that, like those songs, and then the new music dropped, and while I personally wasn't really a fan of it, I saw so many other people who were like some people who were either like only into her comedy, who were like, well, this isn't for me, or some people who were more like, well, I like your rock music and this is like way too commercial. And she kind of stopped doing comedy. She tried like changing her channel into more of a behind the scenes kind of thing for her music career, and now she's backpedaling. And she had like some kind of mini meltdown on Twitter like last week or 2 weeks ago because of views being bad on the comedy video. Yeah, she did something with Rumi, and the thing underperformed, and she did some big and she did something. And on the but on the absolute flip side of her, somebody who's like managed to do exactly what she's trying to do, that is Filthy Frank. Like, he's probably the biggest. Like he had the weirdest comedy, black comedy kind of ultra, and now he's like he totally dropped it, and like I'm gonna do super serious love R&B ballads kind of, and he's more successful than ever now, and it's like totally opposite of what he was doing. And like he's one of the biggest upcoming artists.
I remembered what I was going to say.
Oh, go for it. Go.
It's kind of related. No, but the no publicity is bad publicity thing.
Yeah, all publicity is good publicity. You mean?
Yeah, maybe that's how you say it. Yeah,
same thing.
I can't remember how you say it in English, but so as long as it's like people are seeing your channel. But I was thinking a little bit about Indigo and Mimulus, that thing, because then you got a lot of like new people, but they maybe weren't the people you wanted because your dislike ratio gone through the roof.
I don't think we spoke about that on the podcast, have we?
Maybe we didn't.
Did we? Maybe, I don't know. I talked about it in the video this week.
We might have. I'm not sure. Carry on. Sorry.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, sorry, that was.
Oh no. But I did a video this week called like 10 videos I regret, and that was at the top of the video.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole memeless thing. Like I got a view spike, like a very temporary view spike, but I got a permanent dislike spike that I'm still struggling with to this day. Of like the memeless kids who are still here to like, So
yeah.
Yeah.
every time you share like one of my videos on your community page, I get a spike in views, which is fun, but I also get a spike in dislikes.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's like
that's so funny.
But That's all right.
Win some, lose some.
But yeah, because I think the difference between Emma Blackery and like Joji is like with Filthy Frank, his content, all of it, like whether it was his comedy stuff and all that stuff was respected by creators, by content creators. Like he had this kind of credibility that no one else had. And but whereas with Emma Blackery, I think what the problem with Emma Blackery, if she doesn't like something, she'll say, like, she'll go off on it, but then her opinion might change and she'll get into that very thing, and then she gets seen as a hypocrite. Like that's the problem. Like she used to really go hard on commercial music. She'll go hard on YouTubers. Once her album was featured in the iTunes like conference thing, she was like really against YouTube and all of her like subscribers and her fan base. And I think they just kind of had enough. And now she's like, "Oh guys, I'm sorry. Like that didn't, So
yeah, for sure.
She's a bit polarizing, but she's really talented. I think she's super talented.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's a fantastic songwriter and a singer, for the matter.
I think. Do you think it could be partly that she is a woman also?
I mean,
It's
yes
harder for
and no.
women in
There are. I mean,
comedy
there are
and just-
so many other people who
I think
do
that's definitely like.
But if you think about somebody like Dodie,
part
for
in
example,
it.
who also does kind of
But
like
if we're
cutesy
comparing
acoustic
Georgie
kind of
and-
music. No, not Georgie, Dodie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but if we were talking about Georgie and
Yeah.
Emma Blackery,
Yeah. I think it is part of it, because I think there is the
think
the
Georgie
audience
get
does
higher.
react slightly differently.
Yeah.
I think so.
But then
Yeah.
like you were saying, Indigo, you've got people like Dodie, you've got people like Gabby Hanna, and like people like
Yeah, totally.
Colleen Ballinger, who's got like 2 Netflix series and stuff like. So
Yeah, right.
But I think if you're polarizing, if you like call out your audience on YouTube, eventually they'll get tired of it, and that I think that was a lot of Emma Blackery's problem, is like she would flip flop and then be against her audience. You kind of just got to be open and accept whatever, or ignore it.
Yeah. And
But
like
I think so. Like
also on kind of a surface level, I think the fact that Joji used to do like he did music as Filthy Frank with Pink Guy, like the Pink Guy rap songs that were still comedic and kind of vulgar, but they were still very well made songs.
But they were good music.
And that in itself was probably a pretty
Shut
good
the fuck up
transition
on all of
for
them.
people to see. Like he's funny, but man, he's a good songwriter and a performer.
Yeah.
I want to hear more of
no,
his music.
Definitely.
You're a fucking cunt. Suck my dick.
Yeah. Now I have to tick the explicit box on iTunes. Thanks, Maya.
You're welcome.
Darn it.
That's right. We are the
I realized that
demonetized
as I was
podcast.
singing, I was like, oh wait, right?
Yeah, that is true. So yeah.
Oh well.
Have you guys got any other thoughts on the Mark video?
I mean, I saw a lot of comments on the video being like, "Man, Mark, this video made me so uncomfortable. You feel so egotistical, and I don't know, I can't explain it, but I don't feel good watching it." And I didn't really get that at all. So I don't know. But that seems to be a running theme in the
I
comments.
got that a little bit. I felt a little bit like.
I would agree.
I
got
this
it a little
video
bit.
it felt a little bit forced. I think.
Could you both of you elaborate for me who clearly didn't get it?
I think for me it was only the bit where he's like, like I don't care about opinions and thoughts. He was like, surely if he said like, I'm my harshest critic, so if I don't think there's a problem or whatever, then there's not. Which I totally understand, but the problem is, if I do a video and I show it to someone, like not on YouTube, like someone in real life, they'll react completely different to how I would. And they give you like a second opinion, like a second view that sometimes you just never would have thought of and never see. You know what I mean? So I think you have to worry about, well, not worry, but you have to listen to kind of constructive criticism or other people's opinions on certain things, because they can give you an insight that you would have never seen.
I think so.
So I think that was the only thing that I thought maybe
I agree
like
so much.
you can like. But other than that, I understood where he was coming from, and I don't think he meant it like everyone's wrong. I think he was just like, I'm just really happy doing what I'm doing. But it did come across like, like as long as I think it's okay, then it's perfect kind of thing. Whereas you need to value other people's opinion, because it can really enhance a project or a product.
Yeah, I think it was like multiple points he was like talking towards himself, but that like in saying that he values so much his audience, he cares for them, but he don't care about their opinion. He's kind of saying that as well. which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
Or it doesn't really make sense
Yeah.
to me.
yeah. Like whether he meant
And
it
it
that way
feels
is
like
one
it's,
thing, but
you know.
that's how it sounded, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so too.
I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
But you can't, you know, like I do like like the thing, him just sitting there being passionate and just like doing a train of thought kind of video. Sometimes things kind of don't come out the way you want anyway, and it's unedited, isn't it? It's just like he's just speaking his mind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. But a problem I can have sometimes with Mark, like I'm much of a bigger Pewds fan than Mark. So I've been watching PewDiePie for. I watched Mark like before, but I always come back to PewDiePie. And a thing that sets them apart, that a lot of the stuff that Mark is doing, like a lot of his videos and when he's speaking, even when he were just sitting there speaking, it feels kind of directed or like very, very well produced, like he's written the speech. The way he talks, it's like he's like reading up a speech,
like
almost.
a monologue.
And the way he's like a monologue, and the way he finishes his sentences are just so like thought out, kind of.
Yeah,
It feels very scripted.
I know what you mean.
sometimes.
I do know what you mean.
With, you know what I mean?
It feels like more of a
So, but with-
performance than just talking to you kind of thing.
Yeah,
I get that.
yeah,
get
totally.
But I think he's
Yeah,
quite
so,
he's
but
quite
PewDiePie is
theatrical.
like, he is quite theatrical. That could be a good thing, but just when it comes to like talking about personal things, I like the more like the PewDiePie. He's always he's a bit more clumsy and stumbling on the words, and you can almost like see his train of thoughts as he's speaking. That like when he goes from one thing to the next, because he haven't thought it out in beforehand. It's just like more raw emotion. I think that's why I like him so much, because it feels so real.
Yeah,
And Markiplier,
I
when
get
it
that.
gets too you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. What do you think, Andy?
Kinda.
Everything feels like a production with Mark, even his improvised vlogs. But to me, that is also kind of what I like about him in a weird way, because I really respect production value. So to me, that's a plus. But I totally see why it wouldn't be to somebody else.
Yeah.
So
that's
I guess it's
interesting,
just a matter of opinion.
But the thing is, like, we all like because I thought we might land on the same opinion on it, but it's interesting how we differ on how we view the video. And one of his points was like, it doesn't matter, but you know, we still. Even us three have a different insight on his video, so I think that's why it's important to listen to certain people or maybe get constructive criticism, because you can get that input that you would have never seen. You know, that's the only point.
Yeah,
I was
totally.
like, you know, but yeah, it was a good
think
video,
so.
interesting video.
Yeah, highly recommend you go check it out, everybody. Called wait, I forgot the title. Let's be completely honest. So check it out.
Yeah.
It's
definitely
pretty
good.
old, I guess,
I
by the
have a
time this goes out.
I have a question for
What are you
you,
gonna say, Mike?
both of you.
Oh,
Yeah, I have a question for you. If you
Hit it.
were creating stuff, and if you didn't ever get an opinion or your stuff ever, how would you evolve your content? Like, how would you evolve yourself as a person if you didn't get any input from somewhere? I think you would become really weird after a while.
I think you're right. I think things become a bit
I
stale.
guess it's kind of hard to imagine. So
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time giving you
just
a
putting
like
videos-
well thought out answer. But yeah.
No. But would you just put your videos out there in the void, or your music, and never like listen to what anybody says? You just like, I want to make this song. You put it out there, and then you don't care what people say about it.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that kind of the fun part, to hear what people say and maybe hear what they caught of it? Like right now, we are three different people watching the same video, but we have like completely different.
Yeah.
We're not completely different, but different thoughts about it. I think that's like the fun thing with YouTube, that you can have a conversation with your subscribers and followers. And
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
that's
thought
the
that
point
was
of
like
having a
kind of Mark's
podcast at
thing,
all.
yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Sharing our opinions, right?
Yeah. I
So I
thought
thought it was a little bit.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it kind of like the level that you the amount that you should care kind of depends on the content that you're making. Because if you're making something that is just completely outrageous and
Of course.
stupid, like Bill Wirtz, you know, like it's just amazingly produced, but it's clearly just his brain in a video, then that's like that's just like an expression. But with Mark, I know the bigger projects are like much more of an expression, but still, like his day in day out content is kind of YouTube content, and it's stuff that that people view on YouTube, which you would want to get their response on, because like you're kind of already working on a formula that was already there. So I think it does depend.
That's kind of the point of it all, like putting out your content there because you want people to see it and you want to hear their opinion.
Exactly.
Or if you just want
and
to
also,
out there, it's like, what's the point?
And like,
doing
also,
it?
I feel like Mark is probably one of the most creative, like, people on the platform, I'd say, given some of the videos he puts out with, you know, his old Markiplier TV and now the Wilford Warfstash videos he did.
Well, even like
Who Killed
Moo and Meow
Markiplier.
and Woof,
Right? And like, a date with Markiplier, that thing is like insane. And like, stuff like that, I don't really see many other people at all on the platform doing. And for somebody to be that creative, to be able to put out productions like that, I mean, if I were to do that, that is also kind of my goal, I guess, to be able to do stuff like that. In that situation in particular, I would definitely want people to tell me if it was good. Hopefully they'd say it was good, or they'd say this sucked, and then I'd, try to do it better.
But doesn't it feel a little bit like insecure if you have to say that you don't care? Like, think about iDubbbz and his like bad unboxing. Do he care about anything in those videos?
No, he doesn't care.
But he doesn't have to say it. It's just so obvious. But when Mark sits there and like, I don't care, I don't give a fuck, it feels kind of like,
I get that.
Obviously, when and everything is so well produced, of course he cares about what you do. He's one of the most I think he's probably care more about his contents than a lot of other people, because everything is so well polished. So it's just something that doesn't get through.
It could also be like one of those things that he's worked so hard on it and like put so much time and so much. It's like his baby that. It's like, you don't care what people think about your kids, you know what I mean? You just love them no matter what. So maybe it's like that. It's like,
yourself.
I love it so much.
I think that was closer to what he was trying to convey with whatever mixed result he may have ended up getting.
More like...
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was kind of the point I was trying to make in the beginning where I was talking about personal goals and I want to stand at Wembley. And I was like, I wouldn't really care about what other people thought about that. I just want to do it for myself. And then I could say, I don't care, but... For me, I would care. Does it make sense?
I mean,
the same
I
way
guess.
that he cares about his videos to be nice looking, but it's for himself as well.
Yeah. So I got a good question then. So if you had like a budget, it doesn't have to be a big budget, and you were going to work on a project, what would it be? Like Markiplier's video that he's done. Like it doesn't have to be a video. It can be like a gig or whatever. What would you work towards in that aspect?
If you just had unlimited money.
Yeah, I mean,
and you want to start?
The absolute first thing that came to my mind, I would love to do, like, not to leech off of Dave, but I would love to do a musical. That's been also one of my ideas for so long, and I'd love to produce it the same kind of way I did the song Dan TDM remix, and the same way I did Peace, like do it all super professionally with green screen and special effects and things flying all over, like a weird animated real life kind of video, but having more people involved and doing like a big thing with a storyline and like a full 2-hour drama, with a full soundtrack, something like that. And that is like one of my big things for like a vision for a thing I want to do when I'm older and richer. But like a big thing. So that's probably the number one. And just organize a world tour for my music would be great as well. I want to play more live.
That'd be awesome. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
What about you, Maya?
What about you, Dave? Or Maya? What about you guys?
Ladies first.
Yeah, you want to start, Dave? Ladies first?
Yeah, no, you go first.
Dave is first.
Okay, well, I would do something completely different to Indigo, probably. But
probably.
I would. So my favorite artist in the world is a guy called Jan Tiersen. He's a French composer, and he did one of the coolest gigs ever. He lives on an island slightly outside of France, near a big lighthouse. And what he did, he flew over, like, he took a lot of different musicians and just set up a gig out on a cliff, on a little island out in nowhere, and they played a full concert there for, like, the local people. but they recorded everything, and the nature is so cool, and it's just so close to.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I would love to do a project like that, and I kind of with my own music, where I guess a concert. Where with just my own songs, and then I would write like orchestral like arrangements, and maybe have like a string quartet as well, and some cool effects on them, and just like set that up on some maybe an unexpected place, maybe like in a forest or something, and then we could live stream the whole thing so the world could see, but like just be eaten by this. I don't know. I love like quirky, weird venues, even more when it's not like when it gets almost this raw. Like, because the cool thing about that lighthouse gig was that nature. It was just like the wind was blowing so hard. Nobody could have like any stage outfit or something, because it was just they needed to listen to the weather, and they had raincoats, and they had all this different kind of stuff, and it was just like. So cool to watch them play like in harmony with nature somehow.
Yeah.
How they didn't build this big stage. They were standing in a circle on the ground and melted in it. I thought it was really cool. I would want to do something kind of like that. Just bring my guitar to a mountain top or something. I don't know, and film it.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be cool. So how about you, Dave?
I don't know. I guess like, because all of my videos and stuff I just do by myself and like working. I think I would like to work with a crew and a team on like a bigger project, a bigger video. I don't know what it would be, because this is another thing with what Mark said. It's like I know that I've got weaknesses. Like I'm not a natural writer when it comes to like dialogue and scripts and stuff. I'm not an artist, so. Working with people in those areas, even like in composition, so people could give me a different kind of aspect, or someone who's maybe trained differently than I am, I know it would make the product better. Like it's like there'd be more foundations, there'd be much more depth to it. So I think that's why it's important to listen. I think that's something I want to work towards. It's just a much more collaborative project. I just don't know what it would be yet. But Maya,
I mean, one channel that is like super inspiring to me, and has been for a while. That is a channel called Random Encounters. Don't know if you guys know them, but they basically do. I think they're like 2 people. I don't know. They're a bunch of dudes, and they do musicals, and they do musical adaptations of video games. So they do like Baldi's Basics the musical, and like Doki Doki Literature Club the musical, and stuff like that. And it's all super well produced and super well composed. Like the music in some of these is so good, and they're so talented singers. But also
from time to time.
Yeah, Maya thinks they're cringy, but I think they're so talented, so extremely well produced. Everything.
They are talented, but it's still it's too produced.
I'll watch it and I'll give you my opinion on the next episode.
Yeah, they did. That would be interesting to hear.
So they did do one video. Because the thing is, they bring on so many other YouTubers, and that's what's so fascinating. They did one thing called beating a monkey at chess, and I think that's uploaded on Markiplier's channel.
Oh, right.
And it's like a Broadway kind of piano 4-minute musical piece about Markiplier trying to beat a monkey at playing chess. And then Pat from Game Theory comes in, and they start singing together, trying to beat the monkey. And then the completionist comes in, and then one of the Random Encounters guys come in, and they all sing together. And it's like really silly, but it's like the music is good, and it's like super professionally shot. So like it looks like an episode of Glee or something. Cool. But it's like the themes are so silly. But it's so competently made.
I think the thing I don't like about it is that it's so prestigious. It's so prestige, everything.
But it's like, but it's not though. That's the thing. It's so incredibly silly. It's just very high budget silly. In the same way, like a Jim Carrey movie is like high budget silly to me, at least.
Oh, cool. I'll check it out and give you my thoughts.
Yeah, do it. Definitely one of my favorite channels. So like, if there's something that's like remotely close to what I would do given enough budget, probably stuff like that is kind of close to what I do one day.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
A similar kind of thing.
Would be cool. I also have a dream that is also kind of building a new instrument Or like, have you seen the channel Vintergatan? How they made the marble machine?
No,
that video crazy. Hit like 69 million views or something. It's
I think it's closing in on 100 million. It's ultra viral, like biggest Swedish video of all time.
I'll send
probably.
it to you later, Dave. It's really cool.
Yes,
and it's just this little dude, like in Sweden. Oh, so sorry. My phone. My father called me. Sorry.
Hi, Dad.
Anyway.
Yeah, send it to me. I'll have to check it out. That'd be awesome. Like creating your own instrument. That'd
it's
be crazy.
Really cool. And I like that. And like, I always have a like love for quirky instruments or like people who think differently, using instruments in different ways. And I had one project I would love to do sometime would be to like just gather up a bunch of musicians and lock them in. I have this fascination with it. I'm gonna lock them in a little shed in the forest. No, but like, just gather on some place that's kind of disconnected from the city and everything, and then maybe everybody gets to swap instrument with each other. But everybody is like really skilled, so they can produce something. But they need to go more on their like feeling than technique or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That would be
something
cool.
like that. Those. Yeah, I want to make those cool projects and just a lot of collabs with different musicians and different instruments.
It's funny because me and Endigo are like, we want to make stupid songs, with green screen, and then Maya's like really sophisticated, like. You're definitely the mature, sophisticated one out of us.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Me and Endigo,
dude, I mean, I used to be so, like, in my mind, I used to be so very sophisticated when it comes to music back in the day. And then, as soon as I had a little bit of growth on YouTube, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna be silly forever. And I don't know, I just kind of dropped it.
No,
I'm both like getting nostalgic from talking to Maya, but I'm also getting like, where did I go so wrong?
Yeah. No, I've got a good story about that actually. So. I've always been stupid when it comes to music. So I did GCSE music, which is like, what is that for everyone else?
What is that?
That's like
when you're studying at school or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what age I was. Maybe like when you're like 15 or 16, you have tests in the UK called GCSEs, and and one of the subjects I took was music.
Are they like national tests?
Say that again.
Are they like national level tests?
Yeah. Okay. So they're like you do 2 years in school and then you have like you get like a grade at the end of it or whatever.
Okay.
And I did what part of the course for the music course was to make a piece of coursework, just like to produce a piece of music and record it.
Yeah.
And I wrote. And I remember when they set the work, they showed some examples of like some of the previous work, some of the really good ones, and there was like this country song or like this folk song that was a well written song and it was quite clever. The lyrics were like quite witty, so I was like, oh, that's cool. So then I wrote this song about a guinea pig. So this kid who had a pet guinea pig, and then at the end of it, like the song builds up, and at the end, the guinea pig runs across the road and gets crushed by a bus.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What?
So I recorded this song. It's like I've been trying to find it for like months, and I handed it in as my like final project.
You have to send it to us if you find it.
And I think a couple of years later, my teacher told me that when they set the coursework now, they have like one that they show people. This is an example of good work, and then they show mine as an example of really bad work.
Oh no!
Because it was so
really?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh my God, Dave!
I've been trying to find the demo for ages. I found the music for it the other day, but I cannot find the demo anyway. But I'm going to try and find it.
Oh my God,
that would be so fun to hear.
Yeah, if I can find it.
Yeah, dude.
But was it bad because they thought that it was not was serious project, or was it bad because it was badly produced? Or
yeah, I think it was because it wasn't like a serious thing. Because most people didn't do like demos; they used like Sibelius. So it's just like, do you know what Sibelius is? It's like it's like a software where you just put in notation and it plays MIDI notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sibelius. I know what it is.
Yeah. But I like recorded each, like I recorded keyboard, guitar, drums, and everything. So it was the only one with a produced demo, but it was like the stupidest song ever.
But I love that. That's wonderful. I love it. Like. Oh Jesus! I just spilled coffee all over myself.
Oh no.
Oh, careful!
So,
Crap.
yeah, no, I've always been,
Sorry.
all my music's been stupid from day one. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like stupid music. Stupid music is cool. You just have to do it like stupid in a stupid way.
Yeah.
And not like try to be stupid, but it's too clever. Or, you know,
I know
it's
what you
a
mean.
fine line. It's between like, you know, on one side you have, you know, Max Mofo, Touchy, those kind of people, and Yoji and Filthy Frank.
Maya,
That's
you
just-
can't say
that's
touchy on an
stupid in a good
English
way.
podcast.
Sorry. What do you say in English? I'm speaking too much Japanese lately.
So touchy is like the plural form of whatever. So when you say Max Mofo touchy, you mean like Max Mofo and those guys.
Oh, cool.
And
cool,
those
cool.
guys, yeah.
Cool.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
but yeah.
But they do stupid in a really good way. So their stuff is like, it's high quality content, I think, but it's like, it's kind of poorly
Yeah.
produced. It's not perfect. It's very like etchy, sketchy, winky, wonky, you know.
Yeah.
And everything is kind of bad,
Yeah.
but in a good way.
Yeah, I know. what you mean.
It's I think it's genius to, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like, but you can't force something. If you want to create that kind of video, I think you just have to let it happen. You can't plan a video like that.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, Markiplier and those guys, sometimes it's too much planning, so you kind of kill this beautiful, like, improvisation part of it when it can go in which direction ever, because you don't really know.
Yeah. I
And
know what
that's
you mean.
the fun part, and that's what makes it real, I think. Kinda.
Yeah. No, I get
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, when you
Yeah,
overplan
I-
it, you kind of kill that factor, so it's not as alive somehow.
yeah. I see where you're coming from, but I couldn't disagree more. It kind of feels like you're comparing like stand-up comedy to a comedy movie and saying, because they're both comedy, but they're very, very different in how they're interpreted, but they can both make you laugh. So
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I
does
know
that
what
make
you mean.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's
But-
there's a place for both of them. I guess it's just
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it depends. I guess it's all based on taste.
Yeah, of course.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
And it depends on what you like and what kind. I have kind of a bizarre humor, I guess.
yeah,
But
Yeah, well, it's all part
well,
for the
Markiplier
course.
is more famous than anyone that I'm watching, so that says something. Right?
well, apart from Feuds.
There's more followers, so
Yeah.
yeah. Apart from Feuds, and that's what I also. That's so funny that Feuds is so big still, and yet he's so, you know, like
well-
funny in a
Yeah.
bad good way.
Yeah, well, that's a whole podcast.
But, like,
in
So
itself, isn't it?
improvised.
Dissecting Pewds'
But like
channel.
Yeah.
his whole thing, like he's just become so wise. Like unironically, he's just become so wise the older he's gotten. So his videos now are like so just. He's like a wise man preaching, like in every like rant he does now.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
But I think the most important thing with Pewds is that he's not trying to be anyone. Or you know, you have Gloria Borger and all of that, but he's not trying to, you know, be someone.
yeah.
He's
but-
not trying to actually
Switch
be
someone
Gloria
else that is
Borger.
someone else. Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
I'm Gloria Borger. I promise, please.
Yeah, that's his new career. That's what he's aiming for. That's his goal.
He's actually just building up a portfolio for like to be an actual news anchor one day. Sending in these videos to like CNN News and like, hey, check this out. I'm Gloria Borg. They're like, oh, you're hired. Yes.
That's so funny.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
So, you know, we spoke about burgers on every podcast. These last two podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this week,
Yes.
I went to McDonald's after I went bowling, and I bought 6 cheeseburgers.
Oh. Nice.
oh, dude.
I only ate 4 of them, but then I tweeted about it, and then McDonald's tweeted me back, and I didn't even tag them in the tweet.
Dude,
Oh,
I
I
saw
saw
that.
What? How? Like, you
I don't
didn't
know.
tag them? I
No,
thought
I didn't
you
tag
tagged
them. I didn't tag
How
them.
did they find it?
Like
Did
McDonald's.
you tag like she's?
They probably searched their name or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they searched because I said
That's
McDonald's.
so
but
I want to see what
didn't-
people are saying about us.
I just thought that was amazing and a good burger story for this week because we need a burger story every week now.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Oh my god, yeah, like Dan TDM and PewDiePie shoutouts in all its glory, but like a shoutout or even like being noticed by McDonald's, that's like a whole other level from anything.
Yeah, I was like, damn. It's kind of like when Tommy Wiseau tweeted out one of my things. I was like, Tommy Wiseau.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. That was
That's
insane.
So cool.
His DMs are open though, so just spammed him. No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't.
Well, yeah.
I sent it to him like once, like months and months before, and then he must have just checked his DMs.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, I
just,
guess.
Like scrolling back and found it like, huh.
So
But
Indigo,
Indigo,
did you,
didn't you have a cheeseburger thing going on with your like streaming, paying people to buy cheeseburgers and stuff this last week?
Yeah. Yeah, we had the kind of thing.
Speaking of burgers, I think you might as well.
Speaking of burgers, actually, speaking of burgers, Maya, you did the best burgers I've had in Sweden like last week in so long.
You're welcome.
Okay, just give me a little burger shout out.
Thank you. No, those really good burgers. But we bought
Yeah.
like really expensive meat for them, so it was
Oh,
like
nice.
Yeah,
That's so
like
good.
full price Angus
like,
meat.
yeah, like
Yeah.
let's go all in.
Oh yeah.
Those were
yeah.
some good burgers. Anyway,
Guys, do you want to do
you're
a
donating
couple? Huh?
cheeseburger to people?
Oh,
You're
wait,
donating cheeseburgers to people.
wait. Didn't we talk about that last episode? Did we? Maybe
What, you donating?
about my cheeseburger donations.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think
We
so.
didn't?
Yeah, I think you
Wait.
just told me.
Oh, I told you off cam. Oh, okay. So, okay. So kind of a stupid thing, but I went
This is
into.
kind of a funny story, so I should tell it.
You think? Okay. Okay. So we have a friend, a dude called YouTuber Dubs, who's also a YouTuber. If you haven't seen him, he recreates pop songs by taking single words from YouTubers and pasting them together to make it sound like they're kind of singing. Not in the same kind of way that we do, but like, yeah, it's kind of like he's artificially creating karaoke versions of songs. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's more
Anyway,
like
he was
recreating
streaming.
the lyrics, like cutting out every word. Seems-
Yeah. So YouTuber Dubs, he was streaming Fortnite last week, and I go into the stream and I watch him for a little bit, and then I decide to just donate. So I donate like a couple dollars, $3 or $4, and I just write like, "Hey man, keep up the great work. Here's a couple cheeseburgers on me. Enjoy." And he reads it out like, "Oh hey Indigo, thanks for the cheeseburgers. I'm gonna enjoy those." And I didn't think too much about it. I got kind of hungry, so I went out and bought myself a cheeseburger. And then later that day, or perhaps the day after, I see Dan TDM is also streaming Fortnite or something. And I do the same thing, go into the stream and like donate like $5. Like, "Hey Dan, keep up the good work. Here's a couple cheeseburgers on me." And Dan replies, "Oh Indigo, thanks for the cheeseburgers. I'm sure gonna enjoy those." And so I'm like, "Hey, I got a thing going." And then I'm like, And then I, again, don't think
Didn't
too much
someone
about
comment
it.
in the chat like, "Are you here again donating?"
Oh, yeah, that's the
cheeseburgers?"
thing. Somebody was said that in the Dan TDM stream, or maybe in YouTuber Dubs. I don't remember which one I did first, but in the one I did second, somebody said, "Indigo, are you back at it with the cheeseburgers? Come on." Dude. Like recognizing my cheeseburger donations.
Like,
And then...
providing cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
to
and then the
people.
same evening, or maybe 2 days later, I'm streaming myself, and all of a sudden I get a donation again for like $3 from YouTuber Dubs, who's like, "Hey man, I enjoy those cheeseburgers. You should have a couple. Here are a few more." So yeah, I'm like building this running cheeseburger donation empire on YouTube. So
Yeah, that's
any
the new
YouTubers
currency.
watching who are into cheeseburgers, hit me up, and we'll talk cheeseburgers.
It's like a new Bitcoin.
You know,
it's a new crypto. New
Yeah,
crypto
right. I was
currency.
gonna say
The
some people
new-
trade in
the new
Bitcoin, some people
cryptocurrency.
trade in cheeseburgers. Because like that's a universal value. You all know the price of a cheeseburger in your country. So if you say
Yeah.
10 cheeseburgers, you always know what that equates to. You know, no matter the currency.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, sure.
That's
Yeah.
a good story. That's
I
good.
guess.
Guys, do you want to do a couple quick, real quick reader questions before we go on with our lives?
Yeah, sure.
Oh wow, this episode flew by so
I know. I
fast.
just realized when you said that, I looked at the
Yeah,
time,
we've been
but
going for an hour already.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I just tweeted out real quick, and we got a couple here. So first of all, the man, the myth, the legend, YouTuber Dubs says, "Ask everyone to say," and then he says, "Ask everyone to say," and then he wrote a word. I'm gonna send the word to you guys on Discord in the chat.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you try to pronounce
Wait,
this.
how
So
do- how do
that's
you
the word.
See the chat room?
Yeah, but what if it's like
Margot.
offensive? I don't know.
I would say Margot.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, probably Margot.
What is it? mean?
Morgaux.
Margot.
I don't know. I think that's a name.
Oh,
I think there's a Swedish
It's a
YouTuber
French
actually
name.
who's called that.
Okay.
Margot Dietz.
All right. Well, that wasn't too hard. Try again next time. Do something harder.
Good question.
But would you really, Indigo? You wouldn't say Margot. You would say something Margaux or something.
Sorry.
You would say like Margaux or something if I hadn't said Margot before you.
I would have said Margot. I know that much. Because again, there's because here's the thing. There's a Swedish YouTuber. Her name is Margot something, and she's been like
Margot
she won
Dietz.
some award. Yeah, and
Something.
she got famous because she vlogged herself giving birth to her first child. So the entire thing is on her channel, and that got like viral, and she got famous. Imagine being that kid growing up, like, hey, the entire internet saw me being born. Like,
Yeah, well,
wow.
he kind of deserves some of the ad revenue.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, totally.
You should sue it.
She better put that ad revenue into, like, I don't know,
It's
cheeseburgers when it grows up.
Yeah,
Jaden Blakemore asks, what do you guys each plan to do when you hit your next subscriber milestone? So I guess that would be, 100k for Dave. Maybe 5k for Maya is kind of close, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I have
it's
no
not a
idea.
big milestone, but it's alright.
But like, Dave, have you thought about your 100k video? What's that's gonna be?
No, I haven't got a clue. I had a couple of ideas, but I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know. That's I want to like do like a serious video where I'm just like, you know, reflecting, which I'll probably do anyway. But I also want to do something big-ish and fun anyway as well. But I haven't figured out what it'll be yet. So yeah, tweet me if you have any suggestions.
Let us know. Hashtag Dave 100k. Yeah, baby. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Indigo?
Yeah.
Well, I
'cause
know what I'm
that-
gonna do when I hit 10,000. If I do it before this year is over, Indigo has promised me he's gonna give me a Switch.
Ooh,
So that's my goal. So if
That's
I hit
awesome.
that goal, I'm gonna be playing the Switch.
that'd be wicked.
Well,
yeah.
specifically, the goal is if you hit 10k before your birthday, which is late November, then you'll get a Switch for your birthday.
Closing up.
Ah.
So
So everyone
yeah.
go and subscribe to Maya now, quick.
Yeah.
We have to get
please.
Or else she's not getting a Switch for her birthday.
Get her that Switch.
Then I can't
Yeah.
I can't stream Pokemon every night. I want to stream the new Pokemon game.
Go subscribe.
You can stream Pokemon Quest.
Please.
That's a new Pokemon game.
It's
Not a good
it's
one,
not the
but
same thing. No.
What about you, Indigo?
yeah. I actually have my 300k sub special planned out, kinda. It's not. I don't have the
Yeah.
like storyboard kind of thing fully wrapped out in my head, but I have a like a general idea and some assets kind of finished. I don't want to go into too much spoilers, but like it's already in pre-production. But I'm not sure
Wicked.
when I'll be
yeah.
hitting it. If it's gonna be like September or November or maybe next
wait, I
year.
know
So
what it is.
you have an idea.
I have an idea.
You have an
Sounds
I'm
idea.
not sure entirely what you're gonna do, but I have an idea.
But it's cooking. Please be excited.
Any other questions?
Let's see. We can do this one. Ruby Banda Panda 8 says, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Who wants to go first?
Dave, what about you?
Have you seen the film Jumper?
I have not. Sorry.
Jumper.
It's just about like.
Maya seen it?
It's just about like
No.
these people who can teleport places. Basically, that's what I would do.
Oh.
I'd be able to, but they can teleport
wow.
like anywhere, like across the world and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
I would love that.
I think
so
I would do that.
much.
I think.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh yeah.
I think that
I
would
choose
be
the same thing.
one.
That's
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean that
ultimate
would.
thing.
Yeah, like logically, that's one of the most practical things you can do. But for me, I'm gonna do the classic and say I want to be able to fly, just in general, just for the sensation and the kind of freedom thing. it would be kind of inconvenient to be the only human in the world able to fly. Because once you start doing it, like, you're gonna get like shot down by military or something. They're like, "What is this alien?" So you know, there's not much practical use for it, but it would be neat, I guess.
Well, you'd be too small to get picked up on radar, so you'd be alright.
Yeah, probably.
But like, if a
Because you're
police
not,
sees
like,
you or anything,
made out
you
of
know.
metal or something.
Yeah.
But like, you can fly around the city like once, and then everybody will know, and all the tabloids will say it, and then you'll be chased forever. So
Yeah.
maybe swapping faces, like Jack and Hagar in Game of Thrones.
Ooh. That'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Swapping
because that's also
bodies
kind of
as
useful.
well would be cool. Like, I would like if you could be like Mystique.
Like
Yeah.
shape-shifting in
X-Men?
general.
Yeah, that's shapeshifting, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
Is that
because
what-
I guess then you could shapeshift into a bird and also fly a bit more conveniently.
Yeah,
That would be crazy.
probably.
What about you, Maya? Would it be shapeshifting or?
Yeah, I was thinking about like shapeshifting would be cool, but when you said that about teleporting into like everything anywhere in the world, I think I would go with that because
Yeah.
I have so much going on in Japan. Like right now, I have a freaking band there, and if I
Yeah, we need to
wouldn't
talk
have been
about that
stuck in
next time.
Sweden, I would have had. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
let's
for
do
sure.
Next time, but so I like.
But at the same
I-
time,
I
wouldn't
missed
that
two
kinda take the
huge-
magic
huge
out of it?
gigs that I would have had? Kind of, but
Yeah.
I missed these two huge gigs now that they had, and if I had been in Japan, I would have played at the Akasaka Blitz, which is a huge venue.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's like
and
O2
place
Academy
at
in London,
Odaiba.
basically.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah, and I really wanted to play that, but I think I were in Portugal then, or just coming home to Sweden, so it was just crashing.
Yeah,
and
that was like
it's-
last week or
It's
something.
kind of expensive to just like
Yeah.
fly over for one gig to Japan. The tickets are too expensive to do that,
Yeah.
so it sucks, and I
definitely.
feel like I'm missing out on so many opportunities by being stuck on the other side of the planet. No, but so that
really
would be
does feel like
really
that.
Cool to be
Yeah.
able to travel or like teleport. That will make my life so much richer in a way.
Yeah, you could do
Yeah.
loads of stuff.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell us about that next
Or, like-
episode about your band in Japan because it still blows my mind.
Yeah, sure. It's a fun story actually. So I'd
Yeah,
love to do it.
that's a
So
cliffhanger
if you
for
have
our
any
next episode.
people in the-
Don't miss
yeah,
that one.
people in the comments.
Yeah,
Comment this video if you have any specific comments about. Well, you don't know much about it yet, do you? But
about
Any other
life as a
questions?
bandmate.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Any
I
other
think
questions,
that
Andrew?
maybe
Give you some backstory.
wraps it up pretty well. No, I think that's pretty much it.
I think
I
so.
just
Sounds
tweeted on Twitter.
Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah, I think this is our longest episode so far. Damn.
Probably is,
Well
yeah.
done.
It probably is. Yeah, we
Good
went
job,
over
guys.
a little bit, but it's okay.
So,
But
yeah.
it's cool. After smashing.
Should we
I'll
call
think
that a night?
it's okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right,
Always,
so-
oh wait. Where do we find our stuff, Dave?
Yeah, so Dave, Mr. Creative Genius, according to Jack's Films, if they want to hear your genius creativity, where can they find you?
On YouTube it's Day by Dave. On Instagram and Twitter it's @DaveDelirious, and no one cares about Facebook. Also, the podcast is on SoundCloud and iTunes and all the other stuff. Yeah.
Yes, please rate us on iTunes.
Maya, where can we find you?
Yes, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Patreon, Facebook, and Instagram under the name Maya Fennec. MayaFennec.
Wicked.
Shia.
How about you, Indigo?
Nice. I'm Endigo
little
on
hole?
YouTube and sorry, I'm Endigo on YouTube and I'm Endigo Skyborn everywhere else because Endigo is taken everywhere else. So yeah, find me there if you wanna hang out. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Please subscribe on iTunes, rate us. That helps the podcast grow. And see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Sleep tight. Bye bye.
Sleep tight.